No, hell no, I am not sending this back to get this re-authenticated. No way, no how, no thank you, no. So last week I bought this heart bag from TheRealReal. And in today's video, we're going to talk about whether this bag is fake or not, how was my customer service experience, and will I continue buying from TheRealReal? So before we get started, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and share. So this video is part 2 of the Chanel heart bag saga. I'll link the first video up here, just in case you haven't seen it. And since that video, I got the results of 4 authentication services. We will go over the results of the 4 authentication services, and you can decide for yourself if you think this bag is real or not. This is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. This is not a sponsored video, and I paid for all of these authentication services myself. Disclaimer, I personally don't believe any authentication services can be 100% accurate all the time, but I do believe that they do get it right most of the time. These are services I chose to use for various reasons, and we'll get into all of that. This bag I paid $6,300 plus taxes, so that's almost $7,000. That's a lot of money for me. There are a few things that I strongly urge my viewers, but I strongly recommend that if you buy any luxury items from a reseller or the pre-loved market, no matter how reputable the seller, please spend the extra $25 to $100 to get it authenticated by at least 2 services, if not 3, to be safe. Alright, so let's start with LegitGrails because they are $25. And I do believe that we can all spend $25 no problem, right? So it's $25 for the 24-hour turnaround, and it goes all the way up to $55 for a 30-minute turnaround. Every item examined by their authentication team gets at least 5 independent reviews. I think that's actually a pretty good deal. So what I did was I took a whole bunch of photos and I uploaded to their website. And in 24 hours, I got an email, and this is what the email says. Unfortunately, this item does not pass their check because the text formatting of the item does not match our database. The main problem is that the wrong fonts, font weight, and spacing are used. The logo and other identified text do not check out. This is particularly noticeable in the serial number. So what they're saying here is that the letters, like the Chanel made in Italy, the lettering shape, spacing, and size is not accurate. And they're saying the CC, characters underneath it, which is the serial number, also uses the wrong lettering. When I first got this email, it totally rocked my world. I was completely shocked. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't wrap my head around it, and my head was spinning, and I didn't know what to do with myself. So next, I took the same photos and I sent it to Real Authentication, and it was $30 for the 24-hour turnaround. I chose the basic authentication order, which is reviewed by a minimum of 2 experts. And here are the results. Real Authentication finds this item to be counterfeit based on the images I provided. For the following reasons, we have determined that this item does not fall within the brand compliance. Craftsmanship, stitching, glazing, inconsistencies. Hardware, the finish, shape, and manufacturers. Material, the material are below brand standard. Stitching inconsistencies on the color and or blend. And lastly, typography, incorrect font, spacing, and size. Wow, that sounds familiar, right? That's exactly what LegitGrails said also, that this definitely has an issue with the Made in Italy lettering and also the serial number. In addition to that, Real Authentication is saying that the stitching is inconsistent. The hardware, like this, and this, is not exact. And the material, like the leather, the quality of leather is below what Chanel uses. So yeah, they were able to conclude this with the high-resolution photos that I sent them. Holy cow. And next, I tried Entrupy. So this one, I actually had to go into a consignment store that actually offered Entrupy authentication. And so what they do is they use a device and they take really close-up pictures of different areas of the bag, and they submit the photo, and Entrupy uses AI, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning, to determine if this bag is authentic or not. So that cost me $35. And my understanding is that this is available in nearly every country, or at least that's what Entrupy website says. So hopefully this is a service that's available in your country. I have a lot of viewers in Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, and so hopefully this will be a good option for you also. So Entrupy, they claim they have a 99.1% success rate. So let's see what happens. So the lady says that in most cases it takes about 15 minutes. And in my case, it took about 35. So she took all the photos, and what was interesting was when she took that device and put it on the serial number, both of us can tell that the lettering, the edges on the serial number wasn't crisp at all. So she looked at it and went, wow, that's pretty bad. And so after the first 15 minutes, it actually failed the AI authentication. And then it went into an in-person review. So we waited another 20 minutes, and a person deemed that this is not authentic. So when Entrupy fails the authentication, they actually don't give you a reason, but instead they give you this UFO. And so it basically says unidentified object. So yeah, this failed Entrupy. So I'm pretty sure they're going to take photos that I submitted to help other authenticators determine that their bag isn't real. So yeah, we're 3 out of 3 right now. And when I was at the consignment store, all the ladies, there's 3 of us, we were all sitting there talking about how sad that this bag is fake. But the thing is, as soon as I handed her this bag and she smelled it, the lady knew right away that this is definitely not Chanel. And last is Zeko Authentication. And for bags like this, which have the plaque, it starts at $100. And so she's in the US, and so normally you would have to ship this bag over there and she'll do her microscopic test. But when I reached out to her, she was actually on vacation. So it wasn't possible for me to send the bag, but she was kind enough to do a photo authentication. And when I sent her the photo of the serial number, she saw right away that, yeah, this bag is actually pretty bad fake. So, holy cow. So the reason why I use these 4 services is because I did a lot of research and I find these services to be most reliable for me. LegitGrails is $25 and Real Authentication is $30. So even on a budget, I think we can all afford $55. So I hope you guys are doing your authentication. But at the end of the day, if this failed like 2 out of the 4 and I ended up with a super fake, it's up to me to decide whether or not I want to return the bag and fight for that. But of all the 4 services, I still feel that Zeko Authentication, because she's handling the bag in person, is probably the most accurate. But I do understand that that involves shipping the bag to her and back. So this is a shout out to Zeko Authentication. Thank you, babe, for all your help. So what do you think? Do you think all these services can be all wrong? I wanted to believe this bag was authentic so bad. I was so excited about this bag that I overlooked some obvious signs of issues, like this is made in Italy and it should be made in France. The zipper is not straight. One of the tags has the incorrect amount of stitches. But Coco, my inner Chanel bag addiction, she still wanted to believe that this bag was real. Coco kept saying, maybe people are wrong. Maybe some were made in Italy. Then regarding the zipper not being straight, Coco said, it's made in Italy, so they have stitching issues. The zipper can be kind of crooked. But Coco really had a hard time justifying or excusing the tag having the incorrect amount of stitches. And yet, Coco and I expected this bag to pass authentication. Yup. I'm here on this channel to share with you my luxury confessions, and can you believe it? I was so shocked when this failed authentication. I sent these photos to my BFF, and she, not being emotionally invested like me, said right away, this has a lot of issues. This looks not authentic. So apparently around Chanel, my judgment can be fuzzy, so I really need to watch out for that. So to be fair, this is the only allegedly fake bag I bought from TheRealReal in 5 years that I shopped there. So I sent all these authentication results to the RealReal customer service, and I get the standard scripted email response. So let's go over it together because there's a whole lot of gaslighting going on. We are sorry to hear about your concerns regarding your recent purchase. All items are put through a rigorous authentication process by a team of experts. During this inspection process, we validate appropriate brand markings, date code, serial tags, and hologram stickers as applicable. Well, that's not true, because LegitGrails and TheReal Authentication said the hardware and all the brand markings are obviously incorrect. So nope, That's not true. Maybe you checked for other bags, but not this one. Our authentication process is always evolving to incorporate new innovations and stay ahead of the latest development. With brand and counterfeiters, we have deployed advanced artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning to support our authentication experts. Really? It's good to know that TheRealReal deployed AI, but was it used on this bag? Because Entrupy, which does use AI, failed this bag. Then it says here, and this email claimed that they use item risk scoring, in which we assess more than 50 data points on each item and consignor combinations to identify points of risk before an item is evaluated by our authentication team. Really? So yeah, I want to know, what are the 50 data points on this bag? Cause you guys missed like every one of them. So hold on a minute, you guys, it gets even better or worse. Then they offer that this bag can be re-authenticated by their authentication team. Hold on, dear. Hold on. You guys did such a sloppy job authenticating this the first time. Why would I ever want to send this back again for you guys to tell me, oh yeah, this is all in your head. This is definitely real. Don't worry. Hell no. Hell no. No, 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 no. Oh, by the way, I'm kind of sick. Can you tell? Hell no. And my neighbor's playing the piano. No. Hell no. I am not sending this back to get this re-authenticated. No way, no how, no thank you, no. Guess what my response is? Your authentication on this item is totally unacceptable. I have zero confidence in your ability to authenticate the Chanel heart bag. I do not want another authentication from your team who clearly do not have the skills to authenticate it in the first place. I already provided you with 4 different authentication results and they all came back as fake. And these are all reputable authentication services. And I also said, I am afraid to shop here. I want a full refund and nothing else is acceptable. So after I sent that email, I got a response in about 24 hours. They basically said that they passed all my documentation and photos to their authentication team, but I still have the option to get my item re-authenticated by the team again. Yeah, so in response to that, I basically said that the only acceptable outcome is a full refund. Then, another 24 hours later, they sent me the RMA, but they did not admit to anything. So here's the thing. I've watched a lot of other YouTube videos, and basically what I heard was they're going to take this bag and just relist it, knowing that I've provided 4 different authentication services saying this is fake, which it's scandalous, but that is something that a lot of people have reported. Then the second option is they should not relist this. I hope so, but we don't know if that's going to happen. And option number 3 is when they do relist this, will they relist this as a large? Because remember, if you watch my first video, they listed this in the mini. So this was mislisted, right? So option number 3 is they will relist this as a large and they increase the price. That would be beyond outrageous, right? So what do you think will happen? Leave me a comment. If you know someone who's looking for the heart bag, share this video. And the last question I'm going to answer today is, will I continue to buy from TheRealReal? And the answer is, as long as I get a full refund for this bag, I will continue to buy from TheRealReal. The bags that I'm looking for are so rare and hard to get, I'm willing to take the risk every single time I make a purchase. So, do you have a story to share? Leave me a comment. I am shipping this bag back to TheRealReal right now. I will give you an update as to what happens next on part 3. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.